Today's topic is TCP, Transition Control Protocol. In transport layer, there are two protocols used, TCP and UDP, Transmission Control Protocol and User Datagram Protocol. Unlike UDP, TCP is a connection-oriented protocol. That is, the process can run on any type of machine in the internet. In other words, the communication has to establish before we can start sending data. During this communication establishment, both sides can exchange data. For example, they can negotiate what is the maximum segment size that they want to use, and also exchange initial sequence number and also the figure or acknowledgement type. Apart from this, we can also allocate resources, that is buffer space. For example, once the connection established, both sides, the sender and the receiver, are going to allocate some buffer space for the sender buffer and also for the receiver buffer. Here you can see the position of TCP and UDP protocol in a transport layer. The next slide shows the features of transport layer. The features of transport layer are process-to-process communication, port numbers, connection-oriented service, reliable transfer of data, flow control, error control, and congestion control. We will clearly study about features of TCP. Here, you are using port numbers to communicate process to process. There is also a numbering system used to keep track of segments that are received and transmitted. Here, numbering system used to give their numbers. Byte numbers are also used where all the bytes of data transferred with the help of TCP are having numbers. The sequence number, it is the number which is assigned to each segment that is transmitted. The sequence number of each segment is the number of first byte of data carried in that segment. Acknowledgement number, number which is given to the acknowledgement received from the receiver. Error control, because of this we can say that TCP is a reliable protocol. Flow control, sender and receiver both can send and receive their data simultaneously. That's why it is also called as full duplex mode. It uses flow and error control mechanism in transport layer, hence it is reliable transport protocol. TCP ensures that the data receives intended destination in the same order it was sent. In TCP, a segment carries a data and controls establishment. Here, you are establishing the connection between two TCPs, where each TCP is initialized the communication and approval, that is acknowledgement from the each end to send the data. In this, you are using three-way handshaking protocol to establish a connection between two TCPs, which we studied clearly in the topic of connection management. TCP is most widely used for data transmission in communication networks such as Internet. TCP provides process-to-process communication using port numbers. TCP does not support multicasting and broadcasting. It supports only unicasting. The unit of information passed by TCP to IP is called segments. TCP maintains a checksum on its header and data. TCP must discharge duplicate data and it also provides flow control. Here in next slide, you are going to see the header format of TCP. TCP provides header along with data. So the header provides lot of functionalities that we are going to see one by one. The length of TCP header is minimum 20 bytes long and maximum 16 bytes long. A packet in a TCP is called a segment. Each source port, the first type of field in a header is a source port address. It is of 16 bits length. It identifies source port of the application process on the sending device. That is, it specifies the application sending the segment. This is different from the IP address, which specifies an internet address. Next comes destination port. It is also of 16-bit length. It identifies destination port of the application process on the receiving device. Here, it defines the receiving application port number below 1023 called well-known ports or assigned to commonly used applications. Next comes sequence number. It is of 32 bits. Sequence number of the data byte of the segment in a session. Each byte in the stream the TCP sends is numbered. Next is acknowledgement number. When acknowledgement flag is set, this number contains the next sequence number of the data byte extended and works as acknowledgement of the previous data received. This field identifies the sequence number of the next data byte that the sender expects to receive if the acknowledgement bit is set. Header length. Header length here specifies the length of the TCP header in 32 words. The length of the header length is 16 bits. Next, data offset. It is of 4-bit length. This field implies both the size of TCP header and the offset of the data in current packet in the whole TCP segment. Next comes reserved. It is of 6 bits. In that, 3 bits are reserved for future use and all are set to 0 by default. Next comes flag, where you are having 6 fields, each is of 1 bit. First one, URG. The urgent pointer is valid if it is set to 1. It indicates the urgent pointer field has segmented data and should be proceed. Next one, acknowledgement. It indicates that acknowledgement is, if acknowledgement is clear to 0, it indicates that packet does not contain any acknowledgement. That is, acknowledgement bit is set to 1 to indicate the acknowledgement number valid. Next comes PSH, push. When set, it is required to the receiver station to push data to the receiver application without buffering it. That is, the receiver should pass this data to the application as possible. Next, RST. This flag is used to reset the connection. It is also used to reject an invalid segment. It is also used to restart a connection. Next, SYN. Synchronization sequence number to initialize a connection. The connection sync equal to 1 and acknowledgement equal to 0. This flag is used to set up a connection between hosts. Next, FIN. The FIN bit is used to release a connection. It specifies that the sender is finished sending the data. This flag is used to release a connection and no more data is exchanged thereafter. Because packets with SYN and FIN flags have sequence numbers, they are processed in correct order. Next comes window size. It specifies the number of bytes the receiver is willing to accept. This field can be used to control the flow of the data and the congestion. This field is also used to control the flow between the two stations and indicates the amount of buffer in bytes the receiver has allotted for the segments. That is, how much data is the receiver expecting. Next, checksum. It is used for transport layer error detection. This field contains a checksum of header, data, and also pseudo header, where pseudo header consists of IP addresses, reserved IP addresses. Next, urgent pointer. If the urgent URG flag is set, the segment contains urgent data, meaning the receiving TCP entry must deliver it to the higher layer immediately. It points to the urgent data byte if URG flag is set to 1. Next comes options. The size of this field is variable option field may be used to provide other functions that are not covered by the header. It also facilitates additional options which are not covered by the regular header. Option field is always described in 32-bit word. If this field contains data less than 32 bits, padding is used to cover the remaining bits to reach the 32-bit boundary. The last one is the data. The data field size is variable. It contains user data. Next comes the applications of TCP. Web browsing, emailing, and file transfer are common applications that makes use of TCP. The, it use many internet applications such as Circuit Shell, peer-to-peer file sharing, and streaming media. Next is the difference between TCP and UDP protocols. TCP protocol is connection oriented. That is a setup required between client and the server process. Whereas UDP is connectionless protocol where no connection before two process starts to communicate. The next is the connection in byte stream. Whereas UDP, the connection is in message stream. The third point is it does not support multicasting and broadcasting. It only supports unicasting, whereas UDP supports broadcasting. The next is it provides error connection and flow control, whereas UDP only provides error connection, whereas it doesn't provide flow control. Next, TCP supports full duplex, where the communication is done simultaneously from sender to the receiver. UDP doesn't support full duplex. Here, the communication is only in one way. TCP packet is also called as segment, whereas UDP packet is called as user datagram. It is TCP is reliable data transfer between sending and receiving protocol without error and proper order, whereas UDP is an unreliable data transfer between sending and receiving process. TCP also provides congestion control, which is used to control sender when network overloaded, whereas UDP service does not provide congestion control. The last one is it does not provide at least throughput guarantee, that is not preferred in real-time application, whereas UDP it is does not provide because of reliability, flow control, throughput guarantee, and security. Thank you.